already got tree roots growing over here. Look at that. Since I put that faucet in here.
Don't take a month.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? Look at that.
So we did not have a frozen faucet.
No, not this one. But
So
all the tree roots, look at that. All those tree roots done growed in here.
in less than a year.
Less than a year. Ain't that something? I must have buried that joker deeper than I thought I did.
Or either you ain't got there yet.
We're gonna see where that pipe goes.
You went way deep. I see white.
No, that's a rock.
You sure? Okay.
Oh, I got a turn in it. It's got an elbow in it right there.
Oh.
Oh, well, I guess that would.
So where?
It must be off over here.
That was smart.
I think I know what I did. I think I ran the water line and this together.
And then moved over.
And I teed over and put that there.
Put it all in one thing.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. So let me move over. That's why I'm finding roots over here. I just couldn't believe that thing would.
Makes sense, huh?
Yeah, that was just like
Piece of lighter.
piece of fat pine lighter. That's all we have in our ground everywhere. Let's see if I can get out here and find it out here.
Nope.
It's
Maybe as far as this, way over here. Yep.
or something.
Over.
I felt it. Yep, there it is right
There
there.
it is, way over here.
It's way off
So
over
you
there.
were digging.
Well, technically, I have to. I had to dig some of it up anyway. That's interesting.
A year and you can't even remember what you did. Can you imagine?
I
20
remember.
years?
I do remember turning that away though, because I wanted to go on to the barn with it. I do remember that.
Yeah. But after the fact.
After the fact, I remember it now.
Can you imagine 20 years from now?
Oh Lord, I don't even want to think about that.
You never know where anything is.
I don't even want to think about it.
But you ran the power and the all in one trench, the water power and all in one trench, I'm guessing.
I'm pretty sure I did because when I did this, it was all in the drought of the summer, and this ground was like concrete.
At least now it's been wet.
It rained last night. That's the reason I decided to do this today.
And what are we doing? We ain't even told them.
Well, let me get this kind of uncovered here a little bit, where I can see what I'm working with. Good morning, everybody. It's Danny and Wanda back from Deepsouth Homestead. Well, guys, the big deep freeze happened in the Deep South of 2022, and we learned some valuable lessons. I was in our hardware store here the other day talking to a friend of mine who actually lived up north when he was younger, and he was telling me, he said, you know, people up north don't worry about busted pipes, hardly ever. He said, you just don't hardly ever see that. And he said, I moved down here, he said, and you people got busted pipes everywhere, all the time. And I began to do a little bit of thinking about that, and I come home and I got to tell Wanda, I said, you know what? We fall guilty of that. Because every time it freezes, we're running around covering this up, covering that up. So I said, I'm tired of it. I'm old. I don't want to have to be worried with this mess no more. So we went online and we ordered the K2 freeze-proof hydrants. This, excuse me, this is what we're going to be installing. Because, guys, to be honest with you, this is what we need. This, when we install this, it'll drain the water back into the ground, and we won't have to worry about it freezing every time we turn around. We can come over here and just flip this lever down, let the water drain back down the ground, and we don't have to leave all the water turned off, drain all the pipes and all this kind of stuff. We can actually leave our water turned on, and we don't have to worry about it, because in the deep south here, guys, this is the way we have things. We just have our hydrants just stuck up on the outside of the building out here, and we wrap them with some normal insulation, because normally it don't get below 20 degrees here, hardly ever. And this is fine for that. And on the cabin over here, you know, I mean, we put these little things on here and to protect our hydrants and stuff like that outside. These are insulated, and guys, when I get these hydrants hooked up, I'm cutting all this stuff off underneath the house, capping it off. No more hydrants on the outside of my houses. I ordered enough of these to do my whole place. And once we get all these installed this summer, next year, hopefully, Danny ain't got to worry about this, because we're taking all these hydrants off the outsides of our houses and our cabins and all this kind of stuff, and we're going to fix this baby up where we don't have to worry about this no more. One of the things that's pretty interesting here, guys, the bottom of these require that you use a brass elbow on it. I went to the hardware store. They had one. And I asked them, I said, you don't have any more? And they go, well, no, nobody uses brass elbows. And they said, plus, they're $13 a piece. And I said, well, I got to have a bunch of them, because I got to have a bunch of hydrants. And they go, yeah, but they're $13 a piece. I said, I don't care. I got to have them. You know, that's what it requires. And so they had to special order brass elbows for me to be able to have enough to do my hydrants. So I'm only going to be able to do one. I've got to wait until one day, latter part of this week, Lord willing, for them to actually come in to use them. Now this one, because our soil is so sandy down here, I'm putting a 1/8 inch little plastic thing here with a little tube on it, so that as it sits in the ground, our sandy soil and the small rocks in our soil, one of them won't get caught up in here. This is kind of turned down so that we got more drainage area here without something going up inside of here, because we're so sandy here. Even though I put rocks down in it, sand could get around it, and I don't want it going back up in the valve. Well, guys, normal pipe here is PVC and Schedule 40 PVC and PEX. And what we've got here is we have our electrical line ran with our water line, which is no big deal. It's all in conduit, so I'm not worried about it. So we'll be pouring our gravel all around that whenever I hook this faucet up. And because our soil is so sandy here, I'm going to be driving a rebar down beside this and clamping the pipe to it, because if I don't, in this sandy soil and the gravel, because our frost line's only 1 foot, the pipe will just pull over. So I'm going to be driving a rebar down beside it, clamping it to it. Hopefully we'll get it all done and y'all be able to see how we get it set up here in the deep south. That is so
There
tight.
you go. Had a little water in it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of that corners in it.
Yeah. I'm hoping I didn't have to mess up no more of this ground, and while it was as wet as it was, it would
Pull on up. Well, there's that.
Yep. There's roots in there, that's what it is.
Yeah.
If I could get it to...
It's pulling, yeah. Roots all on top of it.
Yeah.
All right, so you have that out.
Yeah, this is all out now. Now
Comes the fun part.
whew, we're going to let it dry up a little bit. All right, time to do some cleaner here. Now, in our area, the cleaner has to be purple. Used to it was clear. It has to be purple now because of because of people who are not honest, dishonest people. They would say, oh yeah, I use cleaner on it, and then it would blow off, and it's actually code here. It has to be, you have to have the purple cleaner on it. That's code. If they look in there and don't see the purple, you won't pass inspections. We're going to use a multi-purpose cement. We use MP6 here. That's what I like this one the best. Should be good to go. A lot of y'all are going to ask why I don't use the wet or dry blue PVC glue. I've had such bad luck with it. It holds for about 2 to 3 years, and then after that, it just blows off. And being a general contractor, I wouldn't allow it to be used on my jobs. Once I learned about the MP6, it's a slower drying glue than it's the red can. Now they make a red can, a yellow can. It all depends on what your purpose is. If you're putting together a real big pipe, then you want to use the slower drying PVC glue. But for what we're doing here, this multi-purpose MP6 works great. I will not use the blue wet or dry. All right, we have all-purpose gravel here. So rocks are not really plentiful in our area. I mean, they are in our soil here, but not in this form.
You know they think they need food.
Yeah, when we come in the barn, they think it's feed time. That's what happens when you have welfare cows.
And all our fruit trees made it in the barn just fine. The kumquats are still turning.
Okay guys, we turned the water on. We don't have any leaks around the bottom of it. There's no leaks anywhere. Of course, there's no water up in here. It's all down there right now. So let's just see how it's gonna work. Woo!
It's got a force, don't it?
It's got the force. Okay, now what I want to see is the water gonna drain back out the bottom? And it is. It's draining out the little tube down there. Just like it's supposed to. It's emptying the pipe.
And it dripped.
So, okay, there's no water left in the pipe to freeze. So we are good to go.
Close.
I just want to make sure it's packed. This I had to dig out. And just kind of like put back. Guys, this is why I was telling you I got to drive a rebar, because see this? In our soil, it just won't hold. We have a lot of rocks in our soil here because it's just a gravelly type soil here, but it's got a lot of sand in it too. And I know that it's going to settle, so I'm going to build it up around it just a little bit. All right, I am happy to have one in. We're going to get a clamp now and put around this.
And hook a hose up. You got your water hose behind you.
Yeah, my water hose is right here. It goes to water the cattle. As long as it's warm weather, you don't have to worry about unhooking the hose. But if it gets to be cold weather and you leave that hose hooked up, it will not drain back down into the pipe like it's supposed to. You have to unhook this if it's going to freeze. Now, that's running water into my cattle barrel down yonder. You can put a padlock through it right here too. If you live in a place where people like to just come turn the water on, vandalism and stuff like that, they just like to run water or they want to use your water, you can actually put a padlock through it and lock it. One of the things we've figured out, guys, is the older Wanda and I get, and the simpler we can make things here on our homestead, so that if one of us gets down, the other one is not out running around in freezing conditions trying to, you know, take care of pipes and all that kind of stuff. If we can take care of this kind of stuff ahead of time now, then when that day comes, we won't be burdened with trying to run around and make sure all the water's covered and all that kind of stuff. I know it costs a little bit of money up front, but if you stop and think about the time you spend doing all this kind of stuff, the busted pipes, the aggravation of fooling with all of it and all that, it's better, even if you just got the money to do one at a time, at least get it done. The one thing I liked about the K2 does not have any lead in the galvanized in the pipe or anything like that. They're lead free. This is a water potable one. Make sure when you purchase one of these, if you decide to go that route, you get the ones that's water potable. And if I can think, I would leave a link in the description to where we got these at if you're interested in them. Now understand, you buy them according to your frost line. Our frost line is only 1 foot. So I ordered a 3-foot one. If your frost line's 2 foot, you want to order a 4-foot one. Or if yours is 3 foot, you order a 5-foot one. It depends on how deep your frost line is. And this is going to work out really nice for Wanda and I in the future. So guys, it's all about trying to make things as simple as we can on our homesteads so that we're not burdened down. That homesteading is not a drudgery, but it can be a joy to do. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.